Hello everybody, this is Marcus Toole and it is September the 28th and I'm sitting here in my orchard with some citrus fruit, some fairly green looking citrus fruit in my that I picked today. I'm going to do a sort of a taste test of partially ripened fruit. One of the things to know about citrus is that it tends to be ripe enough to eat before it changes color. In fact, I had an Awori Satsuma the other day that I picked off of my trees, and you know, it was sweet. It didn't have any tartness at all, but the flavor wasn't as strong as it will be you know, about a month from now. But I had some Satsumas or mandarins that I bought from the grocery store the other day, were fully orange, and I would venture to say I can't tell the difference between that partially ripe Awori and the ripe looking citrus fruit that I ate the other day. And I'll be honest with you, I think that the ripe looking citrus fruit actually wasn't ripe, that it was probably picked at about close to the same stage that mine is now, and that they just hit it with some methane that causes it to change color. That's my hunch. But I'm going to go with the greenest looking one first. This is Lemon Frost. This is a sweet lemon. This is nowhere near ripe. Just one side's kind of light up, kind of a little lighter than the other sides, indicating that it's thinking about starting the ripening process. This turns yellow kind of in early November and is like a lemon but sweeter than a lemon, and then sometime in December, late December, early January, it turns kind of an orange color and becomes very intermediate between a mandarin and a lemon, lemony, but also with sort of a mandarin flavor. I'm going to cut it open so you can see the inside of it. It's very juicy. But when you look at the inside, you can tell, well, it's already kind of ripe looking. When they're green like this, they have kind of a lime smell to them. Actually, this variety kind of smells kind of limey anyway. It doesn't have lime in it. It has lemon, and it's 1/3 lemon and 2/3 Satsuma. So let's try, or 1/4 lemon and 3/4 Satsuma is really what it is. Let me try it. It's actually pretty sweet. It's not as sweet as it will be. I think the flavor is somewhat lime-like. I really enjoy it. This is one of my favorite citrus. I don't know that I have a favorite, but I really like this one. I really like this variety. I mean, I could sit here and eat a bunch of them just like that. I'm not confident that if I did that it wouldn't upset my stomach after a while. But that was actually really good. So that one should have been the tartest one of the bunch, and it really wasn't tart at all. So what I have here is a ruby red grapefruit. Right next to it, I have a pink frost. They both seem lighter than they should, so I'm guessing the skin's going to be really thick. They're both turning kind of early, so that could be an indication that there's something going on that's not quite ripe. But let me cut this open and see how it looks. Wow, it's really pretty on the inside. Really pretty. nice and red on the inside, and you can tell that it's going to be very pink. The ruby red's going to have nicer color than the pink frost. Let's cut the pink frost open. The pink frost, the peels on the pink frost are more yellow than red. It usually has a little bit of a blush, but not much of one. And so you look at the pink frost on the inside, it's more of almost like a pink or an orangey, almost a salmon color on the inside. Now my experience last year, I only got one ruby red last year, and it was considerably less sweet than the pink frost. But let's see what I think. And if it is more tart than pink frost, that's not necessarily a bad thing. I like tart grapefruits. I really like sweet grapefruits too. I like them both. I just see them as two different sorts of fruit. That's pretty good. It's pretty good. I think the texture is going to get better. At least I hope it does. That explains why the pink frost is so light. The skin is really thick. I think that's the early ripening ones. There's a reason why they're early ripening. And by the way, I did not encounter a single seed in that wedge of ruby red. Not one. Way sweeter. Wow, that's really good. It's just amazing how much sweeter that pink frost is than the ruby. And the ruby red, it's not like it wasn't sweet, but a pink frost is just a completely different. So now I have two different Satsumas I'm going to try. The less ripe looking of the two is a brown select. So let's try it. See, on the inside it looks riper than it does on the outside. So always, every year it's a race between brown select and Arctic frost as to which is going to ripen better, ripen first rather. That's really good. Now, if you had hit that with a little bit of methane and turned it orange, and I bought a bag of them at the grocery store, it would never occur to me, well, this is a unripe piece of fruit. Really good. So the Arctic frost is a little darker orange, but it's also got darker green on it. Let's see. Always has kind of a herbal smell to it when it's green like this. Here's what I predict about this variety, is that it's going to actually be sweeter, and on one level taste riper than the Brown Select. But this strain has a distinctive herbal smell and kind of an aftertaste to it that the Brown Select, when it's not fully ripe, that the Brown Select won't have. Yep. This is actually a much sweeter piece of fruit. Has a little bit of that herbal taste, but boy, I tell you what, this is delicious. Now the Brown Select and the Awori, and even later still the Orange Frost, will supersede this in all the flavor departments. But right now, that is a wonderful piece of fruit. I want to try another one of these, another wedge of this ruby red grapefruit. I actually think that lemon, lemon frost was just as sweet as this ruby red was, or is. Okay, yeah, I mean, it's such a firm piece of fruit. It's not supposed to be like this. I'm pretty sure this will be much better. Well, there's nothing wrong with the layer. But it just isn't. I think it's going to get a lot juicier. Everything's going to get sweeter. They all are. But when it comes to grapefruit, at least when you're growing them in Georgia, I don't think you can beat this this one, which is the Pink Frost. I want to tell you something a little interesting. This spring, I bought a Pink Frost grapefruit from the grocery store, not from the grocery store, but from the farmer's market. And it was probably in April when I did this, so it's one that had been in storage. Cause around here, they pretty much have to be picked by Christmas, because if you don't, it just gets too cold for them to, you know, they'll go bad on the trees because of the cold weather if you don't pick them, you know, in December. You know, January here, it can get too cold for the fruit to stay on the tree. So I bought one for the farmer's market. I know it had been in cold storage for a while. But I can tell you, this half-ripe piece of fruit is much sweeter than that. You know, it was that piece of fruit was fully yellow on the outside. And this one here that I just picked off the tree, that's still pretty green, is a much nicer piece of fruit than what I bought in April. Which goes for why, you know, if you can grow your own citrus, you can grow your own fruit, often you'll do a better job. Because what I think happened is that while this is green, when that other grapefruit was picked, it was probably even greener than this is. And they probably picked it like that because it would stay in cold storage longer, not so green, because this is sweeter. I think this is actually a riper piece of fruit. Even though that other one was fully yellow, I think this one's riper than that was. It tastes riper. So anyway, this video is getting long, and I'll sit with you and share and do a taste test of my citrus with you, you know, in about a month from now when everything's colored up and I have a ripe looking fruit to show you. So I'll talk to you later. This Marcus Tool, it is September 28th, 2025. Thank you and God bless.